by Elena Wolf, Madison Harms, and Brandon Tallman. Elena, obviously you were back on the service line there at the end of the match. What was that felt like?
Oh my gosh, my heart was pounding so much, but I just went back there and thought over in and aggressive, and if I did that, I thought that we could have a good chance and serve, block, defend.
What did Coach Williamson say in the timeouts there early in the set to kind of re-energize or refocus the troops there to rally, Madison?
She just really talked about how we needed to make the change and fight from the beginning and not let them go on runs like that. And we knew that we had to make a change, so I think it was nice to hear.
And it seemed like right in those last few points, the mentality of never letting the ball hit the floor kind of came into play a little bit too.
For sure. I don't have words really, but I'm just like super proud. That was like unreal, but at the same time, like that's kind of our standard too, to always play like that and leave it all out there. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. I don't have anything else.
Let's talk about the victory itself and what kind of momentum this could give to this program, still seeking kind of its own identity.
Yeah, I think that's a really big win for us. They're a great team, and they have a lot of big, amazing players. So to be able to go out there and win in 5, I think is really important, and it just shows us a glimpse of what we can do and what we can accomplish this season.
Elena, how difficult was it to block out the fact you played this morning, and all of a sudden now you're going 4 sets, 5 sets?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely a short turnaround, but I think coming in this afternoon, we had the momentum of winning the 3-set match this morning, and I just think that everyone was focused, and we were ready to play this tonight. We knew it was going to be a really fun atmosphere with the whiteout and just playing a really good team. So I'm really proud of how we came out, and we were intentful, and we were focused. And although we went in, we were kind of roller coaster, went up and down, I thought the way we finished was really good.
Bryn, you've been in the program for a few years now. This obviously has to be a big win in mind, I mean, throughout the whole program within itself. But what positives or what momentum push can you take to head towards Green Bay next week?
I think just using today's win like as fire and motivation, and I think we're already in a really great spot, and we've already been challenged so much, even with like these losses, like they're not fun, but we're still learning so much, and I think this is going to be like a big push into this next week before we leave for Green Bay.
Thanks, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Coach Williamson, go ahead and give us an opening statement.
First, what an incredible atmosphere tonight. Over 1,700 people here for the whiteout. Our students showed up, and not only showed up and were here, but were a part of the match, and that was incredible to be a part of. You know, I think this team has continued to learn throughout the preseason. We have some experience and we have a lot of inexperience. And so with each match, we just get a little bit cleaner, a little bit more understanding of kind of what our strengths and weaknesses are. And we've talked a lot about defense as of late, you know, of making sure that we're playing to our capabilities defensively. And honestly, I think there were times throughout this weekend that we saw it at a really high level, and there were times that we lost it. And I definitely think last weekend that was something that was missing. So to go into this match and to honestly see us get better almost as the match went on, but 2, when our backs were literally against the wall in that fifth set, it's another learning moment for us. And it's hard because we're constantly talking about, hey, there's a lesson. And even tonight, there's still a lesson to learn from it. 1, how much ground we can cover in a short amount of time when we are really determined and have that defensive mindset. But then 2, how you need to play to win a fifth set. You know, and we started out not great. I think we were down 9-1. And then I think again at 14-10, but I don't feel like the belief ever left us. And honestly, with each point, our crowd got more invested, more involved, and we just put a lot of pressure on them, even when they were up at the end of the fifth set. So I'm really proud of our team for bouncing back and having the ability to stay in a match that I think to some people probably felt like it was over. And I think it says a lot about, again, what we can accomplish, but there's still obviously a lot of learning moments in there as well.
And talk about the offensive new identity with attackers, and obviously Kylan got some playing time at the end of last season, but that fearfulness of not being afraid to swing.
Yeah,
There in the fifth set.
yeah, and honestly, I think we saw that at the beginning of the fifth set. I think there was a little bit of a lack of intent, through our swings, and unfortunately, the lack of intent turned into some errors as well. So, but then, again, backs against the wall, down 14-10, we're taking some of the biggest swings that we've taken all match. So, I think just the offensive identity for us, I still think we're working through it. I still don't think we're at our potential offensively, but I think we had some people step up when we needed them the most. Obviously, Harms had another great night, and I think Kylan is really just continuing from the end of last season into this season, but she is taking on a much bigger load, and it's really cool to watch her kind of settle into that and honestly take control of matches when she can, and she took some of the biggest swings I've seen her take in her career tonight in that fifth set, and just really proud of her and excited to see where she can end up here as the season progresses as well.
And the depth on the bench to be able to rotate some players in, and if someone's not having a great game, and you see some people come off the bench, Laura came off the bench, get
Yep.
some surgeon. Elaine was back on the service line at the end, but just talk about just building that depth. We're at the end of the third week, and building that depth and trying to continue to push forward and create this new identity for this year's team.
Yeah, we made some changes this week, and I think that's where we're still trying to figure out kind of what our lineup is fully. And I think it's going to be by committee in a lot of situations of just being willing to use our depth when we need it. Sam had done some good things. We felt like we weren't getting as much out of that, so we made the switch to Evelyn. And I think it took Evelyn a little bit to get going, but she came out with a really big swing too in the fifth set. So we've got to be willing to continue to look at that and figure out what looks best for us, but also understand that it doesn't have to be one person. The person I'd want to highlight, honestly, is Maddie Johnson. She hasn't gotten a ton of playing time. She came in this weekend, and she just had such a great week of practice, and we felt like we needed to defend better and right back, and so we made the switch to her. She had 3 aces tonight. She had 18 digs. She was tied for team leading digs there, and that's huge. That was huge for us. She dug down the line. She dug cross court. She dug off speed, and she passed. She passed well. And for a kid that hasn't had as many opportunities on the court, I'm just so happy that she was able to see herself have success and make such a big impact on our team tonight.
Now I was going to lead you to my next question, because Maddie obviously came in as a hitter and kind of transitioned to that back row position. Obviously, that's very difficult. But what you obviously saw something in practice that led you to make that decision to put her back there.
Yeah, we went into practice this week just essentially saying, everybody's got to compete. I know everybody on our team wants to be on the court, but what does it really mean to be a competitor? And part of it is wanting the ball and being okay with the ball being served at you, being set to you, having to make the setting decisions and the execution. And I just felt like she really embraced that. And I think she embraced it from the hitting side as well, but the defense is where we really saw her excel. So, again, really happy for her and happy that she was able to have such a big impact tonight.
Obviously, the record may not be indicative of how well you've played through the first 3 weeks, but heading into the last week of non-conference play, what can you say, or where the progression you've made from week 1 to week 3 and leading into the last week of non-conference play?
Yeah, I think it's hard because I think our record kind of is indicative of how we've played. Obviously, we've played some good teams. We played some Power 5 teams, but our team knows that, and we know that we hadn't played to our potential, and I think this weekend was a really big step for us. And honestly, going into last week even, starting with practices and then going into the match versus Drake and taking a really good Drake team to 5, sweeping IUPUI here in 3, and then having to claw and fight to find a win tonight. But this is still just the start of this team's journey. And that's the thing that we continue to talk about and continue to reiterate, that what our record is doesn't dictate how the rest of the season is going to go. And we've challenged ourselves right away. Haven't been able to come out on the winning end as much as we have in the past, but that's not going to stress us out. And I think even for me, it's hard sometimes to not let that happen. But I think this weekend is a really good learning moment. I think our team is going to be sick of hearing me say that, but a really good learning moment of just how good this team can be, how good this program can continue to be if we can rely on what we're good at.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.